Hey there, it's Nick.
And it's Leah.
Real quick thing before we get going. Please subscribe to our show and follow it.
In whatever platform you're listening to us on.
Yes, whatever app you're using right now, there's probably a plus button or a little bell or it says subscribe. Well, tap that, please.
Just a quick little, and it makes such a big difference for us. We would really appreciate it.
We really would. So please do that, and thank you.
Thank you.
And now, let's start the show.
Yay!
Hey everybody, it's Nick Layton.
And I'm Leah Bonnema.
And we had so many great holiday-themed questions.
Yes, we did.
That we're going to put them all together and celebrate the reason for the season.
Yes.
And these are multi-denominational. Celebrate everything, celebrate nothing. We got something for everybody.
We got it for you.
So our first question is about office holiday parties.
Oh.
And our question writer just wants to know, what should I do and not do?
Very tricky.
Not tricky.
Not tricky, says
Actually,
Nick.
not tricky. Yeah. I think the only rule is don't get drunk.
That's very true.
Just don't get drunk.
Because then everything that was tricky falls into that category.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. And I think just remember, we're still in an office and everyone has phones and everyone is watching you.
Yep.
And everybody loves to talk.
Yes.
And so give people a reason to talk about you. They're going to take it.
Yep.
So I think we want to dress conservatively.
Unless you're trying to make a statement.
Oh, sure. What statement do you want to make?
I mean, if you want to show up as a sassy Mrs. Santa.
Sure, and who doesn't?
I mean, you know, with like one of those wild dresses that you got at Ricky's, do it.
Ricky's, for people who aren't in New York, is, how would you describe Ricky's?
Ricky's has actually gone out of business, which really breaks my heart because you can get anything at Ricky's.
It was sort of like a hair styling product where you could also get false eyelashes. Halloween, they would do Halloween costumes.
And they also would just do random costumes in the back that were like any kind of costume made inappropriate.
Oh, is that what was going on in the back room?
Yes, that's what the back room was.
I thought something else was going on.
No.
Oh, it's just
Outfits.
And
I mean, for people that don't know Ricky's, they really had all the hair care products.
Okay. So Ricky's, may it rest in peace. So office holiday parties, yeah, I guess just be on your best behavior and be nice to the other people, you know, and try and socialize with people who may not know very well and make small talk and do all of that.
Yeah, and thank the if it's a group of people that put it together at your office or HR.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whoever like put it together, send them an email. Be like, great eggnog, Jan, or whatever. Yeah. Our next question, also office related, about Secret Santa. So for people who don't know, Secret Santa is when you like put a bunch of names in a hat and everybody takes a name and it's a secret from everybody else. And then you buy that one person a gift and then you reveal it at some gift exchange party that happens.
I do think that some places you have a Secret Santa for the month and you give like little gifts
Where
throughout
is
the
that
month.
place?
I've seen this happen.
That seems just like a lot of work.
And they're all, you know, like little, oh, here's a pack of gum and, you know, a candy bar you love and...
Okay. I've not heard of this, but I guess I believe it has happened in the world.
That seems nice to me.
Sure. I guess getting gum on your desk unexpectedly for 25 days of Christmas. Sure. Great. Well, our letter writer wants to know about Secret Santa with a huge group of people. Most people don't know each other. And so what people are doing is sending out a list of Amazon wish lists saying like, these are things I want. And our letter writer wants to know like, is that fine? And so I don't love that.
I mean, it's finding that line where the person who is buying the gift who maybe doesn't know you at all,
right,
being helpful to them, but then also, I mean, maybe I find it a little weird to be like, here's a link to exactly the thing that I want.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's not. I don't know.
Well, that would have all of the magic and thrill of coming home and seeing a brown Amazon box on your doorstep and opening it and you know what's in it.
Yeah. I've also never experienced being in an office so big where you don't know the people.
Right.
So I guess it helps people to figure out who that person is that you're buying a gift for. But you could make it broader, like, hey, I like Star Wars. And
this is hypothetical for you.
Hypothetically, I would say I liked Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and detective novels.
Okay.
So it's not here's a link to the exact detective novel. I don't know. Maybe that's more.
No, I like that. Yeah, give a list of interests. Like, I like Helvetica and turmeric. And like see what they do with that.
Right.
Yeah. Our next Secret Santa related question is the person I picked in my office has quit recently. And so the question is, what do we do? Because apparently it was some randomly assigned thing. And so no one knows who that person had.
Okay.
And so they want to know, how do we solve this issue of not knowing with this employee that's left?
I think they're going to have to buy a present for whoever and then have that available for the person who was the person who quits person.
I think that's totally a way to do it. You just wait till the party and then whoever's like, I don't have a gift. And then you're like, I have a gift. The problem with that is you don't know what type of gift to get.
That's when it's going to be generic.
Super generic. Yeah. I think the other thing is because this person quit and wasn't fired, it's a lot less awkward just to ask this person.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You know, like, who'd you pick?
Yeah, you could just deal with the situation.
Yeah. But otherwise, you could just not deal with it and then just get a generic gift. No problem. Our next question is, do I have to respond to work emails on the 24th or the 26th? And is it rude to contact people on the 25th?
I struggle with this one as a freelancer because things come in on the 24th and you feel like, oh, I should answer. Mm-hmm. But then you're like, this is 3 days that maybe I should just turn my phone off.
I think the 25th, everybody has a pass, federal holiday, no obligation to respond to anything. The 24th and the 26th, these are business days.
Are they business days?
They're business days. I think definitely like up to noon on the 24th. It's not Christmas Eve at 11 a.m.
So you'd say up until noon.
Yeah. But I think if you send an email on these days, I don't think you should expect a response back.
Right.
Like, I think that's also fine. Like, you're welcome to send me a work email and you should not expect necessarily a response
that
seems
day. Fair.
I think that's fair. And if you don't have an out of office message, like I will expect a response like the 27th.
Right.
28th. Like, you cannot just get back to me in the new year.
Unless you have an out of office.
Unless you're out of office and like, yeah, you're just going to take off that period. No problem. But yeah, I think it's okay to send the email. It's just like the having to reply. I don't think you're required.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how I feel about that. Our next question, is it rude to regift?
I say no.
So interestingly, there's a lot of schools of thought on this question. So you say no and you're very definitive about it. So why, what is it about the no that makes you so no about it?
Because sometimes you get great gifts and it's just not for you. And you know somebody who would love it. And there's no way these two people will ever meet each other. You know what I mean? Why would you just not give that to the other person?
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, interestingly, Emily Post is not enthusiastic about regifting. She's not into it.
Well, I feel like she has more rules than us.
She definitely has more rules, and not all of them are correct. I think etiquette is all about not hurting people's feelings. So if you can regift and you can get away with it, no problem.
I don't think you should be honest about it, which I feel horrible that I said that because I do, as a general rule, believe that you should be honest, but just don't bring it up.
And this is Emily Post's quibble with it. She thinks it is inherently deceitful to regift.
It may be slightly. It may be the most deceitful thing I do.
Of all the deceit in the world.
But it's also, we can't keep everything. And some things are really wonderful, but they're just not wonderful for you. But then it's really wonderful for a friend of yours.
Yeah. I think if you aren't going to get caught, no problem. And then the gift itself should be a good gift. Like, you shouldn't be just giving something that's like a bad gift. Like something that's inappropriate for the person or just like, you know, a garbage thing.
Right. You're like, this was in my pocket.
Right. Yeah. So I think as long as it's like still a good gift, like no problem.
I get a lot of things from swag bags and that my apartment is the size of a matchbook. So can't keep it. Also, some of them aren't appropriate for me and I'll give them as gifts. And sometimes I'll say, got this in a swag bag, thought you might like it. So the person doesn't feel.
I don't even think you have to necessarily say you got it in a swag bag. I think it's fine.
Okay.
I think if you do regift, you want to make sure that there's no evidence of the regifting. So if it's a book, like make sure it's not inscribed to you.
Yeah.
That's nice. If it's monogrammed, something to note.
Oh, if it's monogrammed, you got to keep it.
Unless it's their monogram.
Unless you find somebody with the same exact initials.
And if you do, no problem.
No problem.
I think it's fine. Yeah, totally fine. So relatedly, our next question is it rude to give someone a fruitcake? Because it feels like fruitcakes get regifted a lot too.
You think they get regifted?
Well, there was the old joke. I think it's Johnny Carson who was like, there's only one fruitcake in the world and it just keeps getting passed around.
That's what people say about candy corn. They just dust them off and bring it back out next year.
Yeah. I mean, the tone of this question suggests that they don't like fruitcake.
I mean, they probably haven't had one of my dad's fruitcakes.
I love fruitcake. Fruitcake is great.
I don't think it's rude at all. Also, like my dad home makes them and then wraps them in a rum drenched cloth
thing.
And then wraps them and sends them.
Nice.
I think it's a nice gift.
Totally lovely. Yeah. I mean, I think fruitcake has gotten a bad rap because I think like in the 20s or 30s, there was like fruitcake was being mail ordered. And so then there's all this bad fruitcake that would like arrive in the U.S. postal mail, 2 weeks later.
It's a hard,
horrible thing. And so there was just this joke that like, oh yeah, fruitcake is just like this bad thing. But no, it's totally delicious. Also, super historical. It's one of the oldest recipes. There's like recipes. That doesn't sound sincere.
No, I mean it. I want to know. I sent you an email about my family history of fruitcake. I want to know.
Yeah, there's like a recipe from Rome from like, year zero where it has like pomegranates and raisins and pine nuts. And you're like, that sounds good.
It really does.
I would eat that. And interestingly, fruitcake is like a traditional royal cake in England. Like a traditional royal wedding cake is made out of fruitcake. Like
That's
Queen
exciting.
Victoria had fruitcake, which is I think where the tradition of saving a layer comes from. This like crazy wedding tradition where you save a layer of your cake, that they would save a layer and they would eat that cake like when their child was having their christening.
Oh.
And fruitcake will last. You can last between your marriage and the christening of your first child. No problem. Fruitcake can do that. But like to take like genoise or biscuit wedding cake that we have today and freeze that and eat that a year later, like that's gross. People shouldn't do that.
I didn't realize they were eating it a year later. I thought they were just saving it for emotional reasons.
What, you take it out of the freezer and just look at it a year later?
Well, you open the freezer and you're like, oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah. No, that's not how that works.
I also think if it's a regifting question, if you get a fruitcake and you know it's a good fruitcake, but you just happen to not be a fruitcake person.
We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sure there's somebody on your block who is you're friends with, but you're not really close friends with. And, maybe they need a little holiday spirit. You bring that fruitcake on over to their house.
Yeah.
Maybe you're super. Who knows?
Yeah. If you want to make fruitcake, I've got a great recipe. Just email us. Happy to send it to you. Love to hear your thoughts.
Oh, I hope that people email for your fruitcake recipe.
And now it's time for Intermezzo.
Intermezzo.
So this episode is brought to you by HelloFresh.
And with HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-proportioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep.
And by the way, HelloFresh now owns every plate. So we love both.
So you can skip the trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. What I love about HelloFresh is that they have multiple meal plan choices. I love meal plan choices. I went with Fit and Wholesome because I'm wholesome.
So our boxes are arriving soon, and we're going to report back. We're going to let you know how it went. We're very excited. And for you out there, go to HelloFresh.com/RBWFree and use code RBWFree for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/RBWFree with code RBWFree. And now it's time for Intermezzo.
Intermezzo.
Did you know we have merchandise?
No.
Leah, you didn't? Well, it's true. There's mugs, there's tote bags, there's t-shirts, there's pillows, there's stationery, custom stationery, boxes of stationery, all sorts of great stuff. So go to our website and check it out.
And we're always adding to the pillow collection.
Yes, anytime something comes up on our show, which is like, put that on a pillow, we do. So check it out. Our next question is about, if you're feeling stressed about money, is it rude to make presents for your friends?
Nobody wants to put financial pressure on other people. So if you can't give gifts, like a nice card or like a thing that you make, I think is absolutely lovely.
Oh, totally fine. And in fact, I think some of the best gifts I've ever received were the handmade ones.
Yeah, because there's so much care in them.
Oh, I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, someone just
Not
shows up
always.
with like an origami.
Yeah,
and
here's
you're
a
like,
crane. Yeah. No, but I think a handmade gift, if it's like a nice gift, I'm all about it.
Yeah, if you want to make like cookies and bring them over, that's so nice.
Yeah. So no problem. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say on that?
No, I think just have at it.
Have at it. Yeah. Our next question. I keep my car in a garage and I tip the guys every time I take my car out. Do I have to tip again at Christmas?
I don't know. Tipping always just makes me so anxious that I get red-faced and then I shut down.
So I think in general, the idea of the Christmas tip is somebody's done something for you all year long. You have not tipped them along the way. Christmas time, it's a moment to be like, thank you for everything you've done over the last 12 months. So that's why we like tip our UPS driver and we tip our doorman and we tip all these people. Because like I have not been tipping UPS every time they've done something.
Right.
With the garage, you've been tipping along the way. So it's like, do you have an obligation to then tip again at Christmas? And I don't think you have an obligation, but they have your car. And so it's like, they can do stuff to you and your car.
Right.
There can be consequences. And so I think maybe what you do when you're taking your car out and it's right at Christmas, like whatever day that is, you double the tip.
Right.
So if you normally give them like a couple bucks, like let's double that.
Right.
Let's give them a 10. Let's give them a 20. And then you just make sure you make it very clear happy holidays.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
A little extra. And then hopefully you won't get keyed.
I don't think they're going to key your car anyway.
You don't know what goes on in garages in New York City.
They may be extra protective.
Yeah, you might get a better spot. You might get your car out a little faster. Yeah. Our next question, very tricky. I'm returning home for the holidays and I'm having a hard time juggling wanting to relax with all of my obligations of seeing various friends and relatives during the short time I am home. Is it rude to just not see people?
I feel like this happens to a lot of people.
I think this happens to everybody who go home for the holidays.
Yeah.
I mean, you go home to Maine, I go home to San Francisco, and it's quick. It's a quick trip.
Yep.
I think that if you can slip in and out and nobody knows, that's one way you can do it.
Yeah. You just pretend you weren't there.
You're just a ninja. Stay off of social media. Yeah. You're just in, you're out. So that's probably unrealistic. I think you want to prioritize and then try not to feel guilty.
Right.
I think that's the best you can do. You can't see everybody.
Yeah, I think with me, I always want to see everybody. And then also I want to see people's kids that I haven't seen. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, I got to go. You know what I mean? And then you're like, how did this go by so fast?
I think one nice thing that I try and do is I have like an open house.
Oh.
Where like on the 27th, if I'm still in town, like 1 and 4, come on down for some pie and punch. I'll be holding court. Would love to see you. Swing by. Say
nice.
Hello. And that way, like, people can kind of do that. The benefit of that is also you've issued an invitation. And if people are mad that they didn't get together, well, that's on them.
Right. But I think whoever wrote in this question, they can feel free to not go out if they need that time to.
I think home for the holidays, I think you don't have to feel guilty about it. Yeah. I think if you want to just sort of have some me time with the family.
Or you could, if you didn't want to have people over, you could say, hey, let's all meet up for the same thing.
Yeah.
But at a place.
Yeah. A coffee shop, bar, library, bookstore.
I mean, library, you need to be quiet. We're going to respect the rules of the library.
I don't know what goes on in libraries.
I'm a very big fan of the library.
Okay.
We're supposed to be quiet in libraries. So we're going to take that one off the list.
Okay.
Unless you want to show up with your friends and then have a quiet hour.
Which sometimes you do.
Some people do.
Sometimes that sounds nice. Our next question, when should you take down your Christmas tree?
I feel like I need to take myself out of this because you know that I would keep it up all year.
Oh, yeah. Leah doesn't take down Christmas trees. So I think this is our only Christmas specific question. If you have like a menorah or a kinara, like you don't have to put them away. You could just leave those sort of on display all year long, I guess. Or you could just put those away after Hanukkah and Kwanzaa's over. Christmas though.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. Wow. You're going to keep it up till Valentine's Day.
The thing is that those lights and they're sparkling get you through that January, February slump. You know what I mean? It's dark outside.
So it's for seasonal affective disorder.
Yes. And you just look at it, you're like, that is a beautiful tree. And I love the way it sparkles. And I needed to keep me through these winter nights.
Okay. I mean, if having your Christmas tree up helps you through the day, then I think this is fine. There's no rule.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
February seems fine.
But for you out there who are actually asking for an answer to this question.
That was an answer. Valentine's Day.
Okay. Valentine's Day. One option. I think traditionally a lot of people will leave their Christmas tree up through the 12 days of Christmas. So through Epiphany. And so then the question is like, do you leave it up through 12th night? Or do you leave it up through Epiphany? So then the question is like, do you take it down on January 5th or January 6th or January 7th? And then the question is like, when is 12th night? Because is 12th night like January 5th or do you start with Christmas Day? Gets very complicated.
Yeah, that's very complicated.
Very complicated. But I think a lot of people would say like Epiphany is sort of like the date by which we would leave the Christmas tree up and then we only take it down after Epiphany. A lot of people feel this. So you take it down on the 6th or the 7th. Like that's kind of where a lot of people are at.
Okay.
I think the first weekend after New Year's is also probably fine.
Right.
Like, I think that's a nice time. I think, and we're talking about indoor decorations. For outdoor decorations, you need to do whatever your neighborhood does. Like, you cannot be the person that has the snowman on their lawn on Valentine's Day.
I mean, there are some delicate little lights that I think don't necessarily have to be.
Are they just winter lights?
They're winter lights.
Winter lights.
That you can leave up as long as you want.
Okay.
It's not your fault if other people don't like twinkling.
Yeah. I mean, clearly your enthusiasm for Christmas is stronger than mine.
But what about little lights?
I think it's charming.
Don't you love little lights?
Sure. I mean, who doesn't?
Right? Who doesn't?
Sure.
There's the answer.
Yes. But also, I think if you put up your Christmas tree early, and you do, I'm assuming. Like you do it October 1st.
No. I start Hallmark movies
Uh-huh.
and I put up a string of lights along the ceiling and I light a balsam candle.
Okay.
The tree does not go up till later,
But all that happens on October 1.
maybe mid-October.
Okay. You have some control.
I have some control over myself.
All right, so we got Hallmark movies, we got balsam candles, we got twinkly lights, and then when does the tree come?
Well, the tree, we're not going to do a tree this year in our apartment because I'm going up to Maine so early.
Okay. But normally, when do you feel it's appropriate to put up the tree?
We put up the tree the day after my birthday,
Which is,
first week of November.
so way before Thanksgiving.
Of course.
So, of course, no, that's not standard. That is,
I want to enjoy this as long as possible.
and this is a real tree. So you're expecting this real tree to last.
No. We have a fake tree for New York.
Okay.
And then obviously a real tree in Maine.
Right. Okay.
Obviously.
Obviously. I have an aluminum tree and I think it's great.
Oh, I bet that's pretty.
It's very lovely. You'll see it next time you're here.
Oh, fantastic.
Because I don't like vacuuming.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Also, my entire apartment is gray, black, and white,
It's very put together.
but it's also very monochromatic. So,
I'm very excited about this tree.
so the aluminum tree is nice because it fits in with my decor.
Oh, I love it.
Green doesn't go.
Okay.
So I think you should just take down your tree whenever you want. Like if you want to leave it up till February, then like that's great.
Yeah.
And if you want to take it down the day after Christmas, have at it. At the point when it's a fire hazard, I think that's the time.
Oh, definitely be careful of
Yeah.
real trees drying out.
Yeah.
Trees drink a lot.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You got to get down there with that sugar water on the daily.
Okay. You heard it from the Mainer.
Yeah.
And some final thoughts. Just remember, you got to send some thank you notes.
I feel like we could close everything out with thank you notes.
I think you can close everything out with thank you notes.
No, I think it's a great way.
But for Christmas, people have given you things. You remember to send them thank you notes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Grandma loves a good thank you note.
Grandma does.
Yeah. And then what do you want for Christmas, Leah?
You know, when you said that, I immediately thought of that song, All I Want for Christmas.
Oh, we don't have
is
the
my
rights to
two
that.
front
We don't have the
teeth."
rights to that. To be clear, Leah does have teeth and does not require
Two front teeth.
She's covered. Well, what I want for Christmas is I want people to leave us very nice reviews because of the algorithm. It really helps promote our show. So leave us a nice review. Give us some stars. We appreciate it. That's what I want for Christmas.
Oh, I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah. And then also tell a few thousand of your closest friends.
A few thousand.
Just a few thousand. Just casual. You'll be home for Christmas. So do that. Well, thank you, Leah.
Thank you, Nick.
And I hope you have a great federal holiday.
Thank you so much. Merry Christmas.
Oh, Leah, one more thing.
What?
Have you signed up for Patreon yet?
I have.
Me too. You out there, have you signed up for Patreon yet? No? Well, go to our website, wereraisedbywolves.com, click on monthly membership, check it out, because we would really appreciate it if you'd support our show.
We love your support.
We would. So please do that, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.